The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Well, the big day out, of course, is happening this Friday. Shihad, one of the bands playing at the big day out, and they're planning something fairly special for their performance at the big day out. They're going to be performing the General Electric album from beginning to end. Phil from Shihad joining us to discuss this and a whole lot more. Morning to you, Phil.
G'day, how you going?
Very well. So beginning to end of the General Electric, or just say, because that actually would take a reasonable length of time, or is it just a selection of tracks from the General Electric?
No, it's the whole album, sort of verbatim. I think we just ran through it up when we did a show up in Brisbane last week, and it takes about 50 minutes or so, 54 minutes. The whole album.
Which is about the same. Is that about the same as what it was on CD?
Yeah. That's about the same. Yeah. Of just a little bit of John sort of ranting and ranting in between songs, the usual bollocks. A little bit of banter and whatnot. So you guys have gotten used to performing all these albums back to back because over the last 6 months you've had a few gigs where you've gone through the Shihad albums, gone through the back catalogue and done this in live shows around the country. Yeah. We did that in Christchurch, Wellington, and Auckland. We just did the Killjoy album the first night, and then the General Electric album the second night, and we did that in Sydney and Melbourne as well. Yeah. Now,
and did you find though when you were doing the Killjoy album, of course, the very fantastic album from the 90s, did you find that the audience attending the gig were specifically fans back then, and specifically just wanted to hear that album?
Yeah, I mean, it did seem it was quite a different sort of exercise and demographics sort of witnessing the crowds of each night. I guess there seemed to the Killjoy night. It was definitely more sort of male based crowd.
Right.
The Killjoy night, and there was definitely more sort of females and maybe slightly a bit younger for the General Electric night, I think.
Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, it was good playing and doing the shows in Christchurch and Wellington and Auckland. We just had all these friends of ours that we hadn't seen for years and years, sort of coming out of the woodwork and stuff. And and I remember like Murray Kamek and Mikey Havoc came to both shows up in Auckland and stuff, and it was great to see those guys.
Because that album, I guess, like any album, frames a particular time in life, whether it be friends and events and what you were doing at the time. And the General Electric was done in '99. What kind of time does that sort of frame for you and the band?
Well, it was the big shift for us. I mean, it's the year that we shifted over to Australia. But I guess the big thing is it's the first album that we did offshore. We went and recorded that in Canada with Garth Richardson, and we knew him from. I mean, we'd heard of his work from recording Rage Against the Machine and stuff like that. And so it was the first time we went offshore, and we managed to get a big budget out of the Australian record company to spend on this big, sort of North American recording, First time that, we really had a big name producer and people, got like Randy Staub mixed Metallica albums and stuff. And it was the first time we had that, we were really exposed to that big sort of, American rock album sound.
And
that we've been a fan of since we were little bogan teenagers.
Yeah, and finally actually able to achieve that sound as well. I mean, you produced the singles My Mind Sedate and Pacifier from that album. Also, Brightest Star was a highlight as well. But of course, that track Pacifier, which you ended up changing the band name to, and then of course there was the move into America as well. So was that sort of did the album feel like that time as well, that move into America?
Yeah, it was sort of the start of all that.
Yeah. Was it an odd time for the band?
What, the whole Pacifier thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty strange experience. It was. It was pretty weird. Not every band sort of changes their name midstream like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't something that we were happy about. It's a decision that we made at the time, you know. And we were living over in LA at the time, you know, for we were living there for like 8 months or so, recording the Pacifier album. It's just a decision that we made with the information that we sort of had on hand at the time. But, and then it just felt so natural to change it back to Shihad 2 years later. Yeah, exactly, and obviously the band survived very well through that whole time, and to create more albums. Would you say the big day? Would you say the Big Day Out is something quite special for the band? Yeah, well, I mean, it's always been. I mean, it's a great festival. It's always been special, and it's sort of, you know, we've sort of watched it grow, you know, as we've grown over the years. In New Zealand, I mean, we played the very first one in '94. I made 94 or 95. It was I think it was 94. And it's where one of your music videos came from as well. Yeah, the 95 one, the bit of music video. But I mean, I remember playing You Again for the first, you know, it was one of the first times we played it live, and it was at the first Big Day Out in '94, you know, and just, you know, and that was that's just a memory that really stands out. Yeah, just huge from the start. And traditionally, you guys have taken that sort of early evening spot that really revs up the crowd for the rest of the night, and definitely in more recent times, absolutely filling the station. The stadium. In fact, it's funny because even with other bands and people that run the Big Day Out, you know, they call that spot, and over the years they've come to call that spot in Auckland the Shihad spot. Yeah, you know? Yeah. Sort of that 6:30, you know, on the Auckland stage. I think I don't know if it was last year or the year before, they all sort of blended into one, but I think Pendulum kind of took that spot while you guys were away for that year. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, and so I'd imagine there would be some fairly special memories. I mean, is there one particular Big Day Out that stands out amongst them all? Oh shit, we've done so many in Auckland now. Yeah, that's sort of hard to remember. One that stands out. I mean, when I mean, I can't remember if it was the last time or the time before, but you know, when the one that Rage Against the Machine played, we played. I think we played before Bjork, who was before Rage Against the Machine. Yeah, and I think that was one of the Big Day Out's record crowd for Auckland, and there was a YouTube video of it all over, you know, of like us playing Pacifier and stuff. Yeah, I think John managed to get the whole stadium with the hands waving in the air, and it was like a mass seeing an enemy or something. Yeah, totally. I mean, that's a pretty standout one. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've done it a few times, and that was a pretty big one. So yeah, I think it's good that. I think it was actually the Big Day Out organisers' guys' ideas that we do something different and do the General Electric. You know, sort of time that we did do something completely different for it. You know, because we played that slot, you know, at Auckland Big Day Out so many times. So yeah, I think it's a good idea that we're doing this. Well, no doubt it's going to bring back some great memories playing that album at the Big Day Out, and also I hope create some cool ones as well. Yeah, totally. And if we manage to, you know, play it within the allotted time, you know, we're going to play a couple of new songs after that as well. Oh, cool. Excellent. Yeah. Well, Phil, we'll see you at the Big Day Out. Very much looking forward to it. Thanks very much for chatting to us. Great, no worries. Thanks, mate. Cool. That is Phil from Shihad playing Big D.O. this Friday.